called page factory as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, page
So,
factory is different from page object.
page
Okay.
object mode is nothing but it's a just a the way we write the tests. We just separate the pages. I mean, for each page we create classes, right? That's what we did last time, right? For
Yeah.
each page, we will be creating one class. Same thing with page factory as well. Page factory also uses page object model only.
Okay.
But there we have like some annotations. I will show you that one. I'm, sh- I'm sharing my screen. Wow.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So we were creating pages like this last time, right?
Oh, yes.
And we have created one constructor. So I also told you the Java concept that you need to be familiar for these things, right?
Oh, what concept?
Polymorphism. I told you
Yes,
like
yes. Inheritance, everything.
polymorphism,
Yeah, we went
inheritance.
through.
These are the concepts that you need to familiar in order to better understand what's happening here. Okay. And so now we have created one home page, right? Let's create one login page with page factory. Okay. Here we will use page factory. Okay. So here you have to declare elements like this web element. Let's say username element we have. Okay. So you have to declare like this. And one, let me import this. Here you have to mention at the rate find by. Okay. And you have to mention the locator strategy. Like let's say if it is XPath, you will be mentioning XPath like this.
Okay.
Okay. If it is ID, I mean if the locator strategy is ID, we'll be mentioning like this. If it is link text, you'll be mentioning link text. If it is name, you will be mentioning link name like this. Okay. Do you
Okay.
understand? So we have to mention the type of locator strategy here. If
Mm-hmm.
it is CSS, we have to mention CSS and we have to write the locator. Okay. Or else you can use this how and you can how dot like this also you can use. Let's say if I want to write XPath, okay, I'll write how dot XPath. Oh, leave this. This will be somewhat confusing. XPath, and here we have to write our XPath. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's say want to find password with CSS. So you write CSS here. That's all. Okay. Likewise, you will be declaring your elements in the page factory. Okay. Clear?
Okay. Um, what is the difference between a page object and page factory?
Page factory is like inbuilt of Selenium. I mean, it uses these annotations. They're fine by. See, you will understand it gradually.
Okay. So they both are to
Same thing, same thing.
declare the same thing, but in a different way.
Different way. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
In home page, we use the page objects. In here, we are trying the page factory.
yeah. So here I will say like enter username, same concept. Okay, and I will say string user name, string users. Okay, and here I will since it's a web element, right? Okay, you can simply you can use this and you can do send keys on it like this. Okay,
Okay.
it's a web element, not like we generally how we write. See, if you want to store, okay, let me say you this way. Let's say you write like this, right? You have written like this so many times by dot
Yeah.
xpath.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and some xpath goes here. Okay, some xpath. Okay, so now where do you store this one? I mean, if I don't perform any action here, like dot click or dot send key, something like that, where do you store this thing? You'll be storing in web element. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be
Mm-hmm.
storing like this web element. If it is username, you will be saying like username, something like this. Okay. And
Okay.
on this username also you can perform your operation like send keys or click or whatever. Okay, clear?
Okay.
So this is like rather, let's say you want to use username couple of times. Okay, rather
Hmm.
writing the same statement, rather duplicating the code, uh, we'll be reusing it by assigning it to some variable basically
Yeah,
in the
got it.
you see here we are keep on repeating the code. But if you look at here, if I want to, I mean, I can reuse it any number of times, right? Right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is duplication. This is not really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, you go like this, okay? So that you
Mm-hmm.
can update XPath only in one place rather updating in multiple places.
Okay.
So this is the idea, okay, about that web element. Now we are in the login page, right? So since it's a web element, you can perform the operation. So in page factory, what happens? Here also we have to declare one constructor, public login page, okay? And here also we have to write like web driver, okay? Let me import this web driver, and here you have to write page factory dot init elements. Yes, 1 second. Let me check it out. It's been long time. Page page factory, page factory, page factory. Okay, init elements driver, comma this. Okay, comma this. So what exactly this statement will do is, see, for this username, right? For this password, for this login button, generally, how do we write? Like we will write like driver dot find element by dot send key, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we do this step, I mean, when this happens, right? It will it will convert all these things internally like this. Driver dot find element by dot x. It will use this XPath by dot XPath, and it will
Okay.
convert like that. Okay, that's how it works internally. Okay, when this gets executed. Okay,
Okay.
initializing elements means for all these things it will initialize like this. You understand? Driver dot find
Okay.
and it will use whatever the locator strategy that you mentioned here. It will use that one. So this is nothing but initializing elements.
Okay.
It will do it internally.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it. Clear?
Yeah.
That's what it means. Okay. And let's say if you want to use a driver, I mean let's say in the code you want to use a driver uh, for any reason. I mean there might be any requirement if you want. I mean you might be using WebDriver right here, like just like how we are using driver here. You might need to use it for I mean not for this find element purpose, but for something else. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
for scrolling or for waiting, something like that. Okay, so for that one, what we'll be doing is we'll be declaring one driver here. Okay, and this driver, whatever we are getting, we will be assigning it to this one. Okay, so how do you
Okay.
do that? You'll be saying like this dot driver means it will refer to, you see it is referring to here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and driver means it will refer to, you can see right, it will refer to here. Okay,
Okay.
so who will pass this driver? I mean this driver needs to be initialized, right? who will do the initialization when creating the test, right? We do create the object for this class. Okay, like last time I have told you, right? We will be creating object like this. Okay, this is
Okay.
called object creation.
Mm-hmm.
This driver variable, this driver will have this driver having initialization, by the way. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
how do you know this having initialization? Because we are using inheritance concept here, right? So this base test, already in the base test, this will get executed first, right? So
Yeah.
what happens? This here we are already initializing it, like you see here.
Chrome. Yes.
Okay, so that's how it gets initialized. I mean, you can refer last video there. I have clearly explained how the inheritance works. Okay,
Yeah.
so and there's some annotations also I have explained there. So once we have the driver initialized from base test itself, and that initialized one we are sending it to the home page. Okay, and
Okay.
that is getting assigned to this is getting assigned to here. Since it is already initialized, we can happily use our driver, and we won't be getting any issue like null pointer exception, something like that.
Okay. That
Okay.
public login page WebDriver, right?
Hmm.
This driver is different from the WebDriver.
Uh, this one you're asking?
Yeah. That driver, and we
Huh?
also have the WebDriver. They both are different.
Here you mean?
Yeah.
No, no. This is like, let's say, to explain you better, string name. Okay. Now if I write this dot name equals name. What do you understand? This name is referring to this one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, this name doesn't have any value here. It is empty, null.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I try to perform any operation on this name, okay, like name dot something, okay, some operation, whatever, okay, name
Mm-hmm.
dot contains some data, something like this. When this code gets executed, I will be getting one exception called null pointer exception because I'm trying to perform operation on variable which doesn't have any initialization.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm trying to perform operation on the variable which doesn't have any initialization. So I will be getting null pointer exception. Okay.
Okay.
Now see here, this name, if I go to my login page test, what I will be doing is here I'll say like login page, login equals new login page. Okay. And here I'll be saying, I'll be passing the name.
Okay.
I'll pass name Karthik. Okay. Now I will say login dot some whatever method I have created, I will be calling that method. Okay. You can see here. Okay. Now you see this is matching to what constructor? This constructor. Do you see it is directly take me here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now if you closely observe, sorry, where is this? Here. We are saying login page of Karthik. Okay, it is matching this constructor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now in this login page test having value what? Karthik is the value, right? This
Mm-hmm.
value go and gets assigned to here name. Name is equal to now Karthik.
Okay. And that will get assigned to this string
Yeah, now this
variable.
will get assigned to here name is equal to Karthik. This is how it
Okay.
get assigned. Okay. So see, this is same thing. Now I will explain you more clearly. Here I'm passing value directly. Let's assume like I have that value, okay, already assigned here. Okay, already assigned here. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I'm directly passing that name here. Using because when we use inheritance, we will inherit all the properties of parent class. Okay, all the
Mm-hmm.
property methods of parent class. So I'm passing that variable directly here. You understand? The
Okay.
variable which I
Yeah.
declared, rather passing the value, I'm passing variable in. It's just one and the same thing, right? You understand?
Yeah. I got it now.
Yeah.
Base test. Yeah.
So rather passing the value directly, I'm passing variable instead. Same thing happening with our web driver as well. You see, we are passing a variable driver variable
Mm-hmm.
instead of passing like this new Chrome driver like this instead of assigning value like this. You understand? This also works, but this is not really suggested. You can, I mean, we are see we are I mean when we are designing the framework, we have set some rules, right? Like we said, like okay, we should be able to pass some browser variable
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
command prompt. So it's like hard coding the thing, isn't it? Here, if I write like this, it's a hard coding thing, isn't it? So that's why we are passing the driver variable instead. So that
Okay.
when running the scripts, whatever the browser name user passes, accordingly, that initialization will happen. That initialization, accordingly, initialization will happen. That uh, initialization value will be passed to the respective pages. Okay, this
Okay.
driver will be having new Chrome driver or new Firefox driver or new Edge driver, and that will be passed to this. I mean, that will be assigned to this driver, and this will be
Okay.
assigned to this driver. Likewise, it will be. I mean, here we are using it without
Okay.
null value. Is that clear?
Yes.
So here, instead of name, we should be passing driver. That's all. Okay. It's the same thing now again. Now it will go here and this driver gets assigned here and we'll be using driver here. Okay. We can use our
Okay.
driver now happily.
Okay.
Like, I mean, you don't need to use find element. I mean, if you want to use find element, you can use it. Anything basically on driver you can use here.
Okay.
Okay. And you understood the this one also, right? What's exactly page factory is? So page factory is nothing but in page factory we have annotations like find by like that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and with page factory, how do you initialize elements? Um, I mean, people will ask in the interview, how do you initialize page factory elements? Then you should say page factory dot init elements. Okay, and you have
Okay.
to pass driver and you have to pass this. This means nothing but current class.
Okay.
You're saying to this method, you are saying current class instance. This is nothing but he this is nothing but here new login page. You understand?
Okay.
This is what this means. Current class instance basically. Okay. Current
Okay.
class instance. So to this init elements, we are passing two things. One is driver and other one is this keyword. Okay. Like this, you can
Okay.
get any number of pages like this. And once you do this right, what happens? I told you it will all these variables will be initialized internally like driver.find element and all.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You remember, right?
Yeah.
Driver
Yeah.
dot element. And if it is XPath, it will be by dot XPath like that. Okay. And whatever the value you pass here, it will be having here. That's how all the variables get initialized.
Okay.
All clear,
So
right?
will they use both page objects and page factory?
No, they won't be using both in one, but you can
Mm-hmm.
still use it. I mean, you won't be getting any error if you use it. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
So between
people
these,
will
which is
both
more
are
used?
actually this both are same thing. I mean, people use both. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, there won't be any difference. Some
Mm.
people prefer writing like this. Some people prefer writing like this using
Okay.
these
Okay.
annotations. Okay. Now let's read some context about it. I It's the same thing they have also told. Nothing fancy here I can see. I'm just I'm just thinking of some context. Page factory is a class. Okay. So this page factory, which we are using here, this it's a class, inbuilt class of Selenium. It's coming from
Okay.
Selenium directly.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they are saying. And to support the page object model. I mean, it's supporting the page object model, right? I mean, we are creating the pages for one page for each class, isn't
Mm-hmm.
it? It's
Yeah.
supporting the page object model basically. Same thing. This only. It's supporting the page
Okay.
object model, but a little different using annotations and all. That's all.
Okay.
Okay. It is using page. It is using page of. It is supporting page object model only, but it gives extra ability to write your to declare your elements using annotations and all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Clear? That's what they're saying. And yeah, the same thing they're saying. Init elements to initialize web elements. I told you, right? What is initialize elements? No? And
Yeah.
what is this one?
Mm-hmm.
That's all. They're also doing the same thing.
Okay.
Okay? Nothing fancy. And it's a static method using init element. One can initialize all the web elements. And it's a lazy load concept in page This only identifies web element when used in any operation or activity at the time of web element. So this is one important thing, lazy initialization. So if you go with page factory, right? Um, so initialization will happen only when you're trying to perform some operation.
Okay.
Let's say you're going to click on this element, then only that element gets initialized. But in case of page object model, all the elements get initialized right away. All the elements get initialized at the time of object creation itself.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, how can I say it more better? So you can understand this way, okay? I mean, when you're trying to perform some operation, at the time only element get initialized, okay? The concept behind it is if we initialize element only at the time of finding or performing some operation, it will help us in resolving an exception called stale element exception. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there's some exception you will get in Selenium called stale element exception.
Okay.
So with this page factory, we can mostly avoid that exception. Okay, so
Okay.
it will identify web elements when used in any operation. That's what they're meaning. Okay, and concept wise, everything. I mean, rest all same. Okay, nothing fancy. Everything is same. Only new thing is here you just need to be aware of is this lazy initialization. Lazy initialization means nothing but whenever you're trying to perform some click or some fill or whatever operation you do on the web page, at that time
Mm-hmm.
only the element gets initialized. Element gets initialized in the sense nothing but I just told you right now. Here we will be having like driver.find element by.xpath.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it means. Okay.
Okay.
Only when you're trying to see when I call this method, at that time only I'll be using this one. Okay. At the time only I'll be using this username. Okay.
Okay.
Now this will get initialized at the time only. But in case of this plain page object model pattern, here everything gets initialized right away. I mean, as soon as I create the object here, like you see, as soon as I create the object here for the page,
Mm-hmm.
all the elements get initialized. All the elements gets initialized. You understand, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, it won't, I mean, at this step itself, everything gets initialized. But in case of page factory, what's happening? It won't get initialized at this step. It will get initialized when we are using it.
Okay.
You understand the difference, right?
Oh yeah, I'll go over it once. If not, I'll
Okay, okay.
ask you.
So in case of, I will again explain you. In case of page object model, elements get initialized right away when we create the object for the page. Okay, elements
Okay.
initialization means nothing but um, this is nothing but element initialization.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is nothing but an element initialization. You can just go over it. That's fine, even if you don't understand this lazy loading concept and what we discussed, but you just need to familiar what is page
Okay.
factory and what is page object model. Okay.
Okay.
So you should be able to at least tell like when it comes to page factory also uses page object model only. And it in page factory, we have this at the rate find by annotation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In page factory, we have init elements method, so which initializes elements. If you say these three things, that's more than enough.
Okay.
Okay, clear, right?
Yeah.
So let's write this one as well. I mean, let's use this one. Let's write some page. We were using Azure. Me take the URL from here. This is the URL which we are using. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's try to do that page factory. I mean, let's try to create one script for page factory as well. Now let's quickly initialize the username, mm, placeholder username we have. So I'll write like input at the rate placeholder equals. You're comfortable writing elements now, Sunita?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this way the initial ways that we were doing. I haven't practiced this page object
No, no.
yet.
Look, you were able to write locate this right now.
Yes,
You are
yes.
at least beginning. I mean, some basics you know, right? How to identify element and all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Still not familiar without looking at, I cannot write the path fully correct. Uh,
Mhm. But yeah, if you know the syntax, it's easy.
eh,
Basic basic XPath, how do we write is forward slash tag name. Input is the tag name, so I have written the input as tag name. And this is the placeholder is the attribute, so I have used the placeholder attribute. And this is the value, I have used the value. That's all.
okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I know that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
By heart, I'm not able to write that the
Okay.
syntax without looking at
Okay. So if I want to convert this to CSS, I have to remove
the
this
slashes.
field
Yeah.
and at the rate. Okay.
Okay.
And sign in button, nothing but login button. So let's quickly, here we don't have any properties except class. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This class, I generally don't suggest to depend on the classes because classes are repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
And other than class, we don't have any other attributes. So in this cases, we can use text.
Okay.
So here tag name is span and we have text there. So we can use like this. Okay.
Okay.
There's one more way of writing it. And this again XPath. So we have to change it to XPath. In CSS, we cannot write using text. Okay. We
Mm-hmm.
cannot write CSS elements using text like
Okay.
this. Now enter username. Let's create quickly one more method called oh shit, enter password. Okay. I'll write enter password and I will write click login. Okay. And here I will write string pass. And for clicking, you don't need to pass anything. And you pass this user here. This and this data will be passing it from the test pass. And this will be password. And this will be sign in button dot click dot click. That's all. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know if you don't understand something. Okay.
No, no, you go.
Yeah.
I'm
If you don't
following, but
understand,
yeah.
yeah, if you don't understand something, you just let me know. I'm just removing this example and all. Yeah, this one also let me remove it. Now we have written our methods and everything is ready. Now our class is fully ready. Okay. Now we have to
Okay.
just make use of it. Now let's go to login page test. I will say login page. Okay, we have already here. I have already created the driver. You can see login page, login. Okay, and new log. You know how to create object for a class, right? You have to write class name, some variable name equals new class name. Okay, this is what the syntax. Okay,
Yeah.
and if you have constructor in the class, in this case we have one argument constructor. So driver, we have to pass driver variable.
Hmm.
So I'm passing the driver data. Driver variable in the sense like you have to pass some value to the driver variable. That here also you are passing variable only because this variable holds the value, like new Chrome driver or new Firefox driver or new Edge driver.
Hmm.
And this is coming from the base test. Here we are assigning
Hmm.
some thing. That's how it is going on. Okay. If you refer this
What is
video,
it?
you will get it.
Some error on the login. Something is
No, no,
showing there.
that's a warning. It is saying you have not used this variable yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now let's use login dot. We will say like enter username, and we have declared one string variable, right? So we have to pass data to it. Okay,
Okay.
and login dot enter password. Okay, login dot click login. That's all.
Hmm.
Okay. Now let's update this URL. We already have this URL here. Let me copy this one and let me go here. Let me let me pass the URL here. That's all.
Okay.
Okay. Now, um, so we have to come here, right? It will be initially like this. Then we have to click login button. We can say plus forward slash login like this. You can directly go to the login page without clicking login and on.
Okay.
You see, like when I click login, I'm going to this slash login, right? So what
Hmm.
I do, this URL will have this value, this particular piece of value. Okay, and I'm
Hmm.
appending that, and
Login.
I'm
Okay.
just appending this forward slash login. That's all. Rather clicking and all. Now let's see. You see, it was very quick,
Hmm.
fast. You seen it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It had
I
the
saw.
username and password. It was very quick. That's how simple it is.
Okay.
It's the same concept, right? Same concept. Nothing changed actually.
Yeah.
Nothing changed. Only thing is the way we have written the annotations and how do we initialize.
Writing the test is same, except
Yeah,
the
writing the test
yeah.
is same, no change. Only this is the change. That too here only this particular line and some
Hmm.
annotation came into
Okay.
the picture. That's all. Okay.
Okay.
Now you know the difference between page object model and page factory, right?
Yes.
In page object model, you'll be declaring all your elements like this. And
Okay.
you'll be initializing. There's nothing like initialization here actually. It's like directly we'll be using this elements here in the driver.find element. Okay.
Hmm.
There's nothing like initialization here.
Okay.
We'll be directly using that whatever elements that we declared, we are using it here directly. That's all.
Okay. So we have only for dealing with the locators, we only have page object and page
These are the
factory.
yeah. These are
Okay.
the 99% people uses page object model or page factory.
Okay.
Okay. Some people what they do is they do create some text files for uh, handling the locators.
Oh,
They will,
okay.
yeah, they will write username is equal to, and they will write the locator here, like
Mm-hmm.
forward slash, something like that.
Okay.
And they will read this file just like how we are reading this data. We are reading
Oh,
this,
okay.
right, browser
So you
URL.
will, okay, you will write the XPath kind of in a editor and then call that file to read.
Yeah, that's how some people do it. Okay,
Okay.
that is that's a different. That's a one more way of handling it. It's completely up
Okay.
to us. How do you handle
Mm-hmm.
elements? How do you store your elements? Okay,
Okay.
we have written this one here in the utils. How to read that file. This is how you read the file. We have created one method,
Yeah.
static method, read properties, and you have to just pass the key. It will give you the value.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at here, we said like property utils dot read properties. This is the key. URL is the key here. It will get the value of URL to us.
Okay.
Likewise, they will be reading the locators as well.
Okay.
Clear, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they'll be writing some more additional things like, see, if you write here ID or XPath, how come they can differentiate? They should know the way, right? If you might have written username in CSS or XPath, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that one I mean, just like how I told you the difference. If it starts with forward slash, then it is XPath, right? So they'll
Yeah.
be using only two things here. One is XPath or CSS. They won't be using ID, so nothing like that.
Okay.
They'll be
Okay.
using only two locator strategies. If you
Okay.
look at the modern frameworks as well, they will be using only two locator strategies.
Mm-hmm.
That is XPath and CSS, and their
Okay.
own inbuilt methods. This is like somewhat relatively new tool, not new tool, relatively new tool. It came like 5 years ago or six
Okay.
years ago.
This also has, you were talking about playwright, right?
Yeah.
Uh, this also you utilizes coding or it's
Yeah. Here also we'll be writing the code. There are many automation tools in the market, right?
hmm.
The Selenium is just one of them. This
How
is
about
like one more.
Cypress?
Cypress also same like playwright age only. Like it also came like 5, 6 years back.
Okay, that involves coding or it's just click and
Yeah, it
like
also
the
involves the
WebDriver,
coding.
Selenium.
Oh, it also involves the coding. You see, see
Okay,
they. Oh, sorry. We'll just show you the sample how they write it. Okay. Here we are saying like driver dot find element, right? They will be
hmm,
writing like it will be using JavaScript. Cypress uses JavaScript. They will be writing like cy dot get.
okay,
Instead of find element, it will be get here.
okay,
And here they will be using only CSS, no other locator strategy it supports.
okay,
Cypress doesn't support any other locator strategy other than CSS.
okay,
Okay, so they'll be writing their CSS, and they want to type on that locator, they will be typing it. If they want to click, they will be clicking it like that. You
okay.
understand?
Yeah.
In case of playwright, in case of playwright, and the CY is a global variable.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
It is a global variable. Okay. Um, in case of Selenium, we have to do all these things like initializing WebDriver and all. That's a headache.
yeah.
All those driver management we have to do. Okay, but when you go to modern test automation tools, you don't need to do any driver management and all. Okay, in Selenium,
Okay.
if you want to do parallel testing, if you want to do parallel testing, it's a lot of headache.
Mm-hmm.
You have to write lots of code.
Okay.
Even for reporting, also you have to write lots of code. But
Mm.
in modern test automation tools, you don't need to do all those things.
Okay.
Okay, so if you want to go to sub URL, you have to use cy.visit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like that. And this is like assertion. They are writing this locator should have the attribute alt, and it should have the value, and that alt should have the value Cypress logo.
Okay.
That's what they're saying. If you look at the play, right, how they write the test is they use page here. Go
Mm-hmm.
to is our to go to some URL. And these are some inbuilt methods, just like Selenium having by.xpath, by.css,
Mm-hmm.
right? Here they have get by role, get by placeholder, get by text, get by couple of things like that. Okay.
Okay.
Go to is for navigation, and you can also, just like how do you store the element, here also you can store the element in some variable and you can perform that, click on that variable.
Okay.
Okay. So this is very easy to understand actually. If you look at this get by role link and name is get started, this is nothing but um, if you see here, every locator will have some locator strategies. Okay, you see the
Mm-hmm.
accessibility locator when I that hover pop up you see, right?
Yeah.
What is the role here? Generic. What is the name here? Nothing. Okay, this is not really good side, but good side will have role and name. So if you look at, let's say, let's take this login. Here also nothing we have. Huh? Mm, yeah, let's see this one. Now, let me, if I hover it, do you see that role is linked and name is about Yahoo Mail here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So what they're saying is get by role, and role is what? Link. I mean, here if you look at, if I hover on it, what is the role here? Link, right?
Link.
And
Yeah.
what is the name? About Yahoo Mail.
About Yahoo Mail. Yeah.
So they have written role as link and name of the link is about Yahoo Mail. Dot click. You see how
Okay.
easy it is? You understand, right?
Why does it say get started name?
I mean, it's a button name basically in the website.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In our case, it is about
In our
Yahoo.
case, it is okay. Got it.
It's a easy one, right? Isn't it? Like that.
Yeah.
So that's how they have get by text. There's one more method called get by text, wherein you'll be passing the text simply here. If
Okay.
you want to identify some element based on the text, let's say you want to identify community. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you want to click on this. So if you want to click on this based on text, you can say page dot get by text, and you have to pass the community inside the single quotations.
Okay.
Likewise, you have get by placeholder. Some inputs will have the placeholder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I click the sign in, so here I will be having some placeholder. You see the placeholder is here we have nothing, but yeah, something few things will have placeholder, right? So you can get by placeholder as well. Okay,
Okay.
you have to just give the placeholder value. That's all. There's one method called page dot get by placeholder, and you have to give the placeholder value, and you can perform some operation on it.
Okay.
This is how they write the tests. It supports couple of languages, by the way: JavaScript,
Mhm.
TypeScript, Python, Java, .NET. It supports quite a lot of tools.
Okay.
Sorry, languages. My bad. Okay. Most people
Yeah.
use as Playwright over Cypress because Cypress, I just told you the disadvantage, right? It only supports one locator strategy, that is
Mm-hmm.
CSS.
Expert. CSS.
No,
Yeah.
yes. It doesn't support XPath. And
Okay.
moreover, it's not that easy. It's not that friendly when compared to Playwright or other automation tools.
Okay.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
one more thing. Yeah. Likewise, we have in the market WebDriver IO. Okay. This is
Okay.
one more
Mm-hmm.
automation tool. Here also we'll be using JavaScript. Okay. It's more on it uses Selenium only, but better than Selenium. Okay.
Okay.
It uses JavaScript as language. JavaScript or TypeScript you can use. And with this one, you can also do mobile automation.
Okay.
Mobile apps you'll be having it. So you can also
Mm-hmm.
automate mobile apps.
Okay.
Okay. Likewise, we have Test Cafe. This is
Oh,
also
I
one of
have
the
Never
Sorry?
came across this test cafe for the
Okay.
job
Yeah, this is
requirement
also
process.
very famous, very good,
Oh,
same like playwright, very famous
mhm.
one. I mean, very stable and very good one, basically.
Okay.
Okay, not like Selenium. Selenium is like very bad, if you ask me. We have to code a lot there. That's what the problem.
Mm-hmm.
If it is like a framework, right? It comes with lots of abilities. Like you don't need to um, write code for parallel testing. You don't need to write code for some reporting and all. You don't need to do all those things. You can focus
Mm-hmm.
only on your writing test.
Okay.
But in Selenium, it's like you have to write everything. You have to for reporting, you need to write code for everything. You have to write code for parallel testing. You have to write code. It's a very headache.
Okay.
Okay. Other than this one, there is also one more tool called Puppeteer. Okay, Puppeteer is like it is more focused on Chrome.
Mm-hmm.
It's more focused on Chrome. I mean, it only supports Chrome.
Okay.
This is from Google actually,
Mm-hmm.
and it also saying Firefox, Chrome or Firefox. It can automate.
Okay.
I guess it can automate even Edge as well. It's very it's developed by Chrome and it's very helpful if you want to automate Chrome. Your
Okay.
application is purely mostly you want to stress on Chrome, then you can always go for Puppeteer. It's very
Okay.
powerful actually. This is very
Mm-hmm.
powerful. Of course, other tools also powerful, but this is more focused on Chrome only.
Okay.
So yeah, you got idea, right? What are the different
Yeah.
test automation tools we have? Now you got more idea on like I mean, now you know lots of test automation tools in the market.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, learning this will take some time. I mean, but yeah, if you are good in one thing, like if you are good in Selenium, it doesn't take much time for you to um, get understanding on other test automations
Mm-hmm. So for
because
Selenium, yeah, go ahead.
for finding elements will remain same in everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even in playwright also, if you feel like okay, you don't know how to, you feel like okay, this is get by role and all is confusing. I just want to find the locator using XPath or CSS. You will be
Mm-hmm.
saying we here also we have one generic method like page.locator. Okay,
Okay.
wherein you can write the XPath directly. That's all.
Okay.
If you so if you know how to write XPath or CSS, that's all you know. You don't need to know anything.
Okay.
Okay. So and yeah, that's how it works basically. Any
Okay.
any any anywhere you go, you'll be using XPath or CSS. These are the only two locator strategies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for Selenium, we saw page object, page factory. What else is left for us for the
Um,
upcoming classes?
See, right now, there's one concept I will cover. Right now, if you look at our test case execution, it's going very fast, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's happening very fast, isn't it? So if you want to slow down, if you want to make it like a real user, there's one concept called WebDriver listener something. I will tell you like there how you can slow down or how you can wait between the steps without hard
Okay.
coding anything. I mean,
Okay.
you can add some weights at one place. Okay, before finding any element, you want to wait for some time.
Mm-hmm.
That's how user waits for some time, right?
Yeah.
See, if I'm going here, it is taking second or something like that, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
how automation should be. So that will those things we have, and I have not discussed much about test engine. In test engine, we have people will ask you. I mean, if you go for interviews, they will ask you about listeners and all.
Mm-hmm.
So listeners pending. Did I cover for test engine XML? I guess I have covered little, right? Some little how to run multiple classes and all, right? I guess I covered if you want to run multiple test classes. Did I not cover
Yeah,
this?
you combine those classes and yeah.
Here you will select like this. I told you, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to
Yes,
run
yes.
multiple classes, you will say test ng and you will convert to test ng and you have to give your suit name basically here.
Yeah,
That's all.
we saw that.
Yeah, here also there are a couple of things. Let's say um, in this particular class, if you want to include only few test cases, you don't want to include all the test cases in this
Mm-hmm.
class, how we
Mm-hmm.
can do that? Those things we can do. And
Okay.
let's say if you want to group some test cases, you can do those things. So we are left with like listeners, groups, and includes. And when it comes to Selenium, we have, I guess I discussed about window handling and all. I'm not.
Yes.
Frames is the one, I guess, if I have not touched it, right? Frames,
Yeah, we haven't done frames.
frames. Nowadays, nobody using frame, but it's a good to know topic. Frames and uh, how to slow down execution speed. Okay. And this
Okay.
one, and yeah, likewise, I will give you the list of topics by next class. But yeah, there are some topics we
Okay.
have. In
We
testing
can
is
also see,
yeah, tell me.
we can also see the CI/CD, right? How to like
Yeah,
trigger
yeah.
the tests
Yeah.
and
I know
basic.
I know only one CI/CD. I mean, I know two CI/CD tools. One is like GitHub Actions, and other one is Jenkins. But
Okay.
Jenkins, it's a nowadays people are not moving towards GitHub Actions because before these things, you should know one more thing called Git. This is main thing you need to know. Git and GitHub.
Okay.
This is like if you don't know this, it's very hard to survive in any project when you
Okay.
are doing some Selenium or anything.
Okay. For any automation tool, you mean?
Any automation.
Okay.
It doesn't matter of what code you write. If you write Java, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know GitHub, then it's like very hard to survive in any project, basically. You understand?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this is very much needed. And GitHub Actions I will cover. This is one CI/CD which is available inside GitHub. I can cover this one.
Okay.
Okay. Jenkins, it will take time, but yeah, if you want, we will see this one too. But I don't have much knowledge on Jenkins side, but yeah, I know whatever knowledge I have, I can share on this.
Okay.
See, when it comes to Jenkins side, what happens is like we had to configure some server and not server, basically, we had to configure some machine wherein you
Mm-hmm.
want to run your test cases, basically.
Okay.
So, like that machine has to be in AWS or something, somewhere, basically.
Mm-hmm.
On that particular machine, if you want to run test cases, so those things will be little hard. We will
Okay.
see if we get time. We will see. Okay, I will give you an
Mm-hmm.
idea, but yeah, I can help. Nowadays, people are using GitHub Actions, which is quite popular. I will help
Okay.
you on this one. Okay, it's a CI/CD tool. Okay, when it comes to
Okay.
IT, most people use GitHub Actions or else Jenkins. These are the only two things. I mean, if
Okay.
it is uh, depends on the programming language as well. Some people also use. There are many actually TeamCity, many in CI/CD tools, but most people, at least like 70 to 80% market will use GitHub Actions or Jenkins.
Okay.
Okay. So testing the topics are more pending when if you ask me, but Selenium I have covered. I mean major concepts I have already covered like window handling I covered. I also covered like switching between I mean both are same actually. And page object model I covered, page factory I covered, and I also covered like how to identify elements and all. How do you scroll I covered, I guess. So yeah, I have covered quite a lot of things in Selenium. Even on your own research as well, you can learn Selenium now. You're in a state
Okay.
to learn Selenium on your own
Yeah.
as well. Okay. Only topic that are pending is like test engine topics are pending mainly. And other than test engine topics, um, these two topics pending, I see. And this GitHub pending. And this CACD I mean, this you asked. So this is pending. That's all.
Okay.
Okay. These are the things.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
can plan next class. We can plan to complete these things. I mean, I mean, until today, we have covered this page object model and page factory. I hope
Mm-hmm.
you understood it. Just go through it again. Um, First 30-40 minutes of today's class, if you refer, you'll understand it. And last class as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. See, if you
Last
have
class I
one
went
more
through, I'll
page,
just practice.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, after login, you'll be having one more page, right? Like dashboard. So again,
Mm-hmm.
you will be like, once you create your page, you'll be creating dashboard. Okay, like this equals new dashboard.
Okay.
You'll be performing. You likewise, you'll be constructing your flow, end-to-end flow.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
understand? It's the
Yeah.
same thing. After login page, you'll be doing dashboard page, and you'll be calling the required function. That's all. It goes like that. That's how you
Okay.
will be doing end-to-end flow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, that's all I guess.
Yeah.
We
We'll
can.
see you next Friday then.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thank
Sure.
you.
Bye, Smith.
Bye.
Bye.